So we looked at PDF, we looked at Microsoft Excel, we looked at Microsoft PowerPoint. We can also burst out to Microsoft Word, rich text format, and standard images as well, like JPEGs. Now I want to talk about some extended capabilities. So we've looked at the destinations, we've looked at the formats that we support. Now there are a lot of extended capabilities that we provide as well. So first here we're going to look at is customized HTML email bursting. So customized HTML email bursting pretty much means as it says. We can burst out to email not only as an attachment, but as shown and demonstrated already, we can send out the image to the body of the email, and we can provide HTML ways of versions of that as well. So the image we've seen before was a basic picture put into the body of the email and nothing else. But here we have enabled HTML. So we have a company logo on the top. We have some HTML banners underneath that. Everything is centrally aligned. So pretty much any HTML you want to put in here to design and make your emails look more polished, we support that also. Multi-option distribution. So if you're bursting out to email, for example, not only can you just send out the body of the email as well as a single attachment, but we have multiple options. We can send out multiple attachments. So in this screenshot, we have not only an Excel that may contain the raw data for you to do further analysis on, but we also have a PDF file, and we also have a PowerPoint that we can utilize in our meetings as well. So we have multiple ways we can burst those out. Story collation. So this is an additional extended capability as well. And what that means is we can take different sets of pages from different sets of stories and consolidate a single. So what that looks like here is, this is just a PDF document. Look at the thumbnails on the left-hand side. The first two pages on the thumbnails on the left are representative here in the main screen. So on the left-hand side, we have a geo map from one story. Then we have a weekly sales account stats page from a completely separate story, but these are all consolidated into a single PDF. So you can mix and match different sets of pages from different stories, consolidate them, filter them, send them out to specific users in the formats that they require. Another important one is secure distribution. So let's take PDF as an example. So we have stories that contain sensitive data. We have a use case scenario where they need to be sent out to external customers through email. Now, how do we secure that content? So what we can do here is secure the attachment with password protection. So we can send out multiple PDFs to multiple external users through email with a PDF attachment and secure them with password protection so that if somebody else gets access to that document, they're not going to be able to visually open that document and see that data unless they input a password. So this is what that looks like. The user receives an email, they open up that story in a PDF format, but they cannot open it unless they enter their own password. And you can set it up so that everybody has a customized password, so not everybody is using the same password. And we have mechanisms to allow you to send that content out to users as well. So once the user enters the password, they can then visually see the story from there and be able to view the data. Okay. Conditional bursting and alerting as well. This is a really nice new feature to the Publisher for Cloud solution. Basically what it means is we can set conditions on the bursting definition so that it doesn't send out on a recurring basis, let's say daily or weekly, but based on a certain condition, only then will it be triggered and be sent out. So how that works is we have a database monitoring service. This database monitoring service can connect to whatever data backends your stories are connected to. So if you have a story that's connected to BW or data warehouses or SQL databases, ERP systems, HANA databases, or any other database system, we can connect to those databases directly with the database monitoring service. So once we have that data connection set up, now we can set up our business rules. So for example, let's think about a dashboard that you have that's critical to the business. It's used by many, many executives that need to understand how the business is running currently. Now, there are certain KPIs on that dashboard that may change quite frequently. So you have to keep checking that manually or sending out the reports to them. You're pushing the content on a recurring basis. But wouldn't it be nice if I can burst out the content based on as soon as that particular value goes over a certain threshold? So in this example here, we're looking at a value in the database field X. And let's just say X is total sales or sales percentage. So if X is greater or equal to Y, then trigger the report burst or alert and send that out to the relevant users with the content that you wish to send them. So in that case, we can set this up to be monitoring every 5 seconds, every minute, every 20 minutes, and so on. So you can set it up to check for it for whatever frequency that you decide. And then once that changes, we can then automatically trigger the burst of that story in the format the user wants it to, in the destination they need it. But not only send out the burst, we can also send alerts as well. We can alert other users without having to send the burst as well. So there's a lot of nice capabilities there within the bursting definition. So in this example, it's just showing a workflow. If database field X is greater or equal to Y, our database monitoring service will trigger the bursting definition out to multiple users in the formats that they need. Okay, another extended capability is instance creation, the ability to be able to archive documented records of your stories. So this might be something new to you. You might wonder, well, what does that mean and why is it important? So for any of you who have worked with the business objects world, when you schedule reports, instances are generated. And over time, you have a large volume of instances, which are documents of record of that report in that point in time. And this is especially useful for audits. So what Publisher for Cloud can do is provide the capability to allow you to create these instances, because this is functionality that is not currently existing in Analytics Cloud, because the stories are organic. They're in the cloud, they're live, and they're organic. So there's no such thing as instance history. So what Publisher for Cloud can do is create, send out instances of those stories to, let's say, a network file share, so you can securely store those instances over time in a neutral format like PDF, for example. So what that looks like is here, I've set up a bursting definition that's bursting to a network file share. So on the left-hand side here, you can see there's a top-level folder called SAP Analytics Cloud. Below that, there's folders by year. Within each year, there's months. Within each month, there's weeks. And then within each week folder, there's a list of documents or SAC stories that have been sent out to specific users in a format like PDF. So now I'm able to take an audit of this over time. And whenever it comes time for me to view a specific story in a point in time, I can just navigate through that file structure on the left-hand side. Then I can select the story that I want to view, and that will allow me to take a look at that story in that point in time. So when it comes time for audits, I can very easily look through that historical instance of my stories and be able to open up that point in time as to what that story looked like when it was sent to that user in the format that you wanted.